Hello, everybody! Chase here, and welcome to this end of the year retrospective live stream for the year 2021. All I can say is, wow, what an interesting year, to put it lightly. I'll go into more detail about it later, but first, I feel like I should let all of you know that I am happy that you're here. So I'm going to go and read through the live chat right now just to see who's here so I can get that out of the way so I can talk about other things. Not saying that like you guys watching isn't a good thing. I'm very happy about it, but I am going to be looking at the live chat right now. So we have Great Western 11, Parkerator, Snow Machine, Flying Scotsman Productions. We got Shane Hayes, Sir Handle 16, Diamond X and Golden X 92, Ori Lou, Matthew. Yes, I did hear the unfortunate news about Betty White. It's just sad, especially since she was very close to celebrating her 100th birthday. That's just sad. It's like 2021 was like, yeah, I have one more terrible thing in store for you all, as if you haven't all suffered enough. But yeah, it's really sad. Rest in peace. Hello, Caleb the Tank Engine 06. Hello, Liam. Nick can't join. He's driving to Taco Bell. Can't believe it's Christmas Eve. Yeah, I know. Isn't that amazing? Do you have a wooden railway, Hank? No, I do not. I don't know if I've ever said that before, but I do not have a wooden railway, Hank. Now, I will start talking and getting to the main point of this stream, but first I'm going to share the link with some people because this is a very important live stream, and I will explain why in a little bit. But first, I'm going to send this out to some people. Sorry my redub is taking a while, Chase. It's okay. That's totally understandable. Heard that Betty White was in Toy Story. I forgot who she played as. Wait, she was? If she was, I totally forgot about that. I'll have to look that up at some point. Toy Story 4. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering if you meant a specific Toy Story or what, because I don't remember Betty White being in a Toy Story movie. I haven't rewatched Toy Story 4 in a while, so maybe that's why. I'll have to rewatch it or just look it up. Oh, hey, the Sodor Works is here. Haven't seen you around in a while. Welcome to the stream. Toy Story 4 sucks. It wasn't the worst thing ever. It was pretty unnecessary, if I'm being honest. Toy Story 3 was such a perfect ending to the series, but I guess not. It's not the worst thing ever, though. It's not Cars 2, so I mean... Yeah, Toy Story 4 was okay, but I mean... It didn't really need to exist in the first place. But, oh well, it's still okay to watch, I guess. His firebox was on fire! Nick had notifications off. Okay. Taco Bell sucks. Oh, hey, Nick. Do you have the Sodor Scrub and Shine? I do not. Alright, what else do we have? Marbles says lasagna. Good to know. Alright, do you have Golden Bear Victor? I don't have any Golden Bear items, actually. So I'm no expert on Golden Bear, so I don't know what exactly exists in that range and how it all works. I do know that some of the models look a little strange. Like, I think I saw this weird Cranky model that was blue or something. I don't know. It was really weird. Stanky. Yeah, Stanky. Sometimes I forget that that's still kind of relevant, mostly because of Liam and his friends, but oh well. I mean, I'm one of his friends, I guess, so I mean, I guess I'm part of it, but oh well. Are Henry, Gordon, Harold, Sir Topham Hatt, and Peter Sam your favorite characters? They're definitely my favorite characters to voice. Yes, look right here. Look at what Seth just said. This is the sad reality, everybody. Why do you think I do these live streams almost every weekend? Because I have nothing better to do. I'm kidding. In case someone actually takes that seriously, because I don't know how well you guys take that stuff, but oh well. Do you have a wooden railway thumper? I do not, but I used to a long time ago when I was a little kid, but he went missing and I have not found him since. But I do have the take-along version along with the character cards, so that's pretty nice. Stanky leg. Oh yeah, I think I already read that. This is the last straw. Oh my gosh. Wow, okay. Not everyone's gonna get that, but it's a pretty funny thing anyway. Do you know JL Rosie Fan 98? I've heard the name before, but I don't think I exactly know who that is 100%, but the name sounds very familiar. Nick, grab me a Baja Blast. Alright, so I'm going to send the link out to a few more people, I guess. And then I'll get into the actual point of the live stream before people accuse me of clickbait and all that. But, yeah, let's not have that happen. Oh dear, Lord William Thumpington has gone missing. He's a great voice actor. He's voicing Percy for the redub you have Harold in. Oh, nice. I'll have to listen to that when it comes out so I can hear the Percy voice. Unless he's voiced Percy for you in other videos, then I could always watch one of those too, but either way, it works. Also, I'm pretty sure that you guys have noticed the change of location. And I don't mean the filming location, I mean the actual set on the table. Because I built a Farquhar set, and this is coming from the opposite direction because I'm doing this while my phone is on the charger so it doesn't die on me, because I don't know how, I don't know. I hate when this happens. I just suddenly lost my train of thought because I was looking at the live chat. Gosh, I hate when this happens. It's super embarrassing. Do what Nick said. He's blonde, so he has superpowers. I would do that, but I try to keep my channel clean for the most part, and I don't know how many of those I'll be able to read before I start getting into ones that aren't very appropriate, so yeah, I wish I could do that, but I'm not going to because I don't know how many younger people are watching. Thomas and Percy's Christmas Adventure is the first video he's voicing in for me. Oh, okay. Where did you get the Spiteful Break fan? I got him for my birthday back in 2019. And he's actually right off to the side if I can find him. Oh yeah, here he is. Wow, he was like right there. That was convenient. Yeah, there he is. Spiteful Break fan. The roof is a little jiggly. I don't know if you can tell. But can't really get to work without knocking something over. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Also, why is the ballast all the way over there? I don't know. Fix that. Looks a little weird. There we go. New Year's resolution. Get a girlfriend. Is that for you or is that for someone else? Or what do you exactly mean? George Carlin said, screw the children, so who cares? For me. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were talking to someone in the chat or what. I thought you had the white... Oh, yeah, I do have the white-faced troublesome truck. I have a bunch of them, remember? I got this one. I got this one, which is technically rickety, but he's still a white-faced troublesome truck, so he counts. Who cares? I got this one. Yeah, I'm sure you guys remember this if you were on that live stream where I did all that. And yeah, those are some of my white-faced troublesome trucks. See, there you go. I have some of them. Yep, white-faced troublesome trucks. Oh, and if you think that's cool, I even have the super duper ultra rare Ertl white-faced troublesome truck. Look at that. You guys don't have that, do ya? Actually, I'm sure most of you might have this model. But yeah, that kind of ruins the joke. That wasn't really that funny. Oh well, I'm keeping him here anyway because he's a white-faced troublesome truck. Dang, he looks so tiny. He looks like he could be narrow gauge, except he's not like a narrow gauge slate truck, so I guess not. Hello, the engine no, not the engine shorts. Trey engine shorts, I'm sorry. That's the real deal. I have the super ultra mega rare white-faced Thomas. Nick said he has 3. We are the narrow gauge engines. Oh, also, speaking of troublesome trucks, here's some trivia that I'm not sure if any of you knew, but some of these troublesome trucks, like the ones that are always used in merchandising, like the Ertl ones, actually have names. Yes, like the Ertl trucks, like this one and then the other one that comes with it, they actually have names. Their names are apparently Naughty and Troublesome. I don't remember which one is which, but they do have names that Ertl gave them. Really weird. Also, can I just say how much I love this face? This is like the classic troublesome truck face when I think of the classic series and the troublesome trucks. It's also why this face is garbage, because these are not even close to being as great as something like that one or this one or Rickety's face. Also, might as well just get these out of the way because they're not going to be a main focus of the stream, so who cares? I could just put this there because why not? You know what? I'm not going to do that. Who cares? Fix this up a little bit. There we go. Does it not freak anyone out that 2017 will be 5 years ago within 2 hours? Yeah, I cannot believe that. And 2012 will be 10 years ago. Gosh. Blue Mountain Mystery is going to be 10 years old. I feel old. Holy cow. Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure turns 7 years old in a few months. I'm scared. Hello, I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm sorry. Rizky Mulia? I don't know. I don't want to even try and pronounce it. I don't want to do that because I'm going to butcher it horribly, so I'm not even going to try unless you tell me how. I'm so sorry. Or if you have something else you want me to call you so it's easier, because I'm afraid I'm going to severely butcher that name. JBS will be 5 years. Yeah, anyway, holy cow. The bouncing will have existed since 5 years ago, but now it's not really bouncing. Now it's flying all over the place and doing other stupid stuff, but oh well. That's what the show is now, unfortunately. Calling All Engines will be 16. Calling All Engines already did turn 16 this year. It'll be 17, which is even more terrifying to think about. Troublesome truck number 1002, Rickety. How many troublesome trucks actually exist? That's something I've always wondered about. How many of them actually exist? Because there are a lot of them, I know that. And a bunch of them have been destroyed over the years because of their own accidents and all that good stuff. So I'm just about ready to I already sent out the link, I'm sorry. I'm almost ready to begin talking about the year as a whole, because trust me, if you guys know me well, then you know already that there is a lot to talk about. Some good, mostly bad. Sorry. Hey, Fiona Lover 2.0 Gaming, welcome to the stream. Do you have the Sodor Bay cargo ship? I wish. I'm really excited for your series. Oh, thanks. That's also going to be a thing that will be talked about later on in the live stream, so stay tuned for that if you want to know more information. Oh, and by the way, you're welcome to ask questions, whether questions about the year, questions about my series, depending on if I feel like giving away that much information at the moment, because there's a lot of information that I'm keeping until it actually comes out. What series? Oh yeah, I thought I told you about this, but I'm rebranding Tales of the Sodor Engines starting sometime next year, and I'm starting filming very soon, actually. Or at least I plan to, depending on how busy I am, because school is a thing, and school takes away a lot of my time these days. But that's what happens with life eventually. Not just with, like, school, but with anything. I want my Baja Blast. Okay, this is a very odd question that Seth just asked, but I'm going to say right now the answer to that is no. Troublesome, troublesome truck number 1865, Homer. Who names a truck Homer? Now I'm just imagining Homer Simpson as a truck, or a truck with... I just got a genius idea. If I ever have the Troublesome Trucks talk in my series, which I probably will, imagine if I give one of them a Homer Simpson voice. That would be funny. I want to do that now. That actually sounds like a good idea. Hey, Sodor Enterprises. Nice to see you here. Are we just going to make up troublesome truck names now? That's what it seems like a good chunk of people are doing. And by a good chunk, I mostly mean just this one person, but oh well. Okay, I'm gonna wait like another minute or two to see if any other people show up, and then I'm gonna start talking about this year as a whole, because like I said, there are a lot of things to talk about. There's some good, there's some bad, mostly bad, unfortunately, and I'm sure you all know why. But yeah, let's just say this year has been crazy, and not in a good way. Now, there were some good moments here and there, very few and far between, but overall it was a pretty okay, but kind of garbage year at the same time. Kind of in the middle, but pointing more towards negative. What is the first character you knew about other than a Steam Team character? That is a really tough question because I honestly don't remember. I mean, one of the first episodes I ever saw where Thomas and one of the first some of the first I cannot talk. I'm so sorry. Some of the first episodes I ever saw were Thomas and Bertie and Thomas Terrence in the Snow. So I guess I'd say either not Thomas, either Terrence or Bertie, one of them. Probably Bertie, because I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, Thomas and Bertie was the first episode that I ever saw as a kid, because my first Thomas VHS/DVD release I ever owned was 10 Years of Thomas, and I'm pretty sure that that's the first episode on that release. So, yeah, that's kind of what started it. And I also got a bunch of VHS tapes from my older cousin who grew up with Shining Time Station and had like a bunch of like the early to mid 90s tapes. So I mostly grew up on the classic series, even though I was growing up around the time of the hit era, and I did watch some of it when it aired on PBS, but I always liked the classics a lot better, and honestly that makes sense. So even back then I had good taste. Not saying you're terrible if you like the hit era. I mean, there are some good qualities about it, so I don't completely disagree. Hey, Spencer. Hey, Useful. You guys didn't miss too much. I'm just about to start talking about the year and everything that happened in it. The first Thomas episode I watched was Gordon and Spencer, based off the fact that New Friends for Thomas was my first DVD. Troublesome Truck number 921. Hit. Interesting name. Stuff. Okay, these are some weird names, but I'm gonna start getting into actually important things. Did you know about Ada, Jane, and Mabel when you were on Sprout? I don't think so. I mean, I didn't read the Railway Series books till I was a little bit older. Did you get any Thomas stuff for Christmas? Not really, because I don't really ask for Thomas stuff anymore, because for someone my age, it's a little bit weird. And usually if I want Thomas stuff, usually I just buy it myself. But even now, I don't really have much of a desire to buy new Thomas stuff. I don't necessarily mean just the newer merchandise, but I mean like any merchandise in general. Like, if I want like a new wooden railway item, I just get it myself from like eBay or Mercari or wherever else I get it. But I just haven't had much of a desire to buy new Thomas wooden railway items for myself, and that's gonna be a main point later on as well. I got D261, Airy, Burt, Diesel 10, Stepney, Duncan, and Spencer. Ooh, nice. Nice items. For some reason, I thought you had D261. I don't know where I got that idea from, but that's cool. Wait, did you actually get a Golden Retriever puppy? Oh, nice. Alright, his name is Kirby. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, might as well get started talking about this year. So, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. For me, personally, 2021 was a garbage year for the most part. For most of the year, yeah, it just wasn't good. I mean, to be fair, with the rest of the world in general, 2021 wasn't a good year, but I'm sure a lot of you know that by now. And if you did have a good year, personally, like, with your life and everything like that, good for you. That's amazing. I'm glad that some of you guys may have been able to actually enjoy this year. And, so yeah, 2021 was not a good year at all. I hate to be such a Debbie Downer, but honestly, I'm just expressing how I feel about the year as a whole, as that was the whole point of this live stream from the beginning. And now I'm finally getting into that. But you might be wondering, in case you somehow don't know, or you don't know me as well, Chase, why was your 2021 such a bad year? Well, it didn't start out too terrible. Because if you look at my community post or my Twitter post from last year on New Year's Eve 2020, I sounded very optimistic. Or at least that's the vibe that I got from reading my message again. I was saying, hopefully 2021 will be better. And, oh yeah, I finally got my series, Tales of the Sodor Engines, off the ground. And look out for more episodes in 2021. And I'm going to be very active on my channel this year, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that. And what happened after all that? 3 measly little videos. Yep, I'm not even joking. I will show you right now on my old phone. Hang on a second. This is my old phone that I barely even use, so if it's a little laggy, that's why. But look, these are the only videos I uploaded. This doesn't count live streams or lines that I recorded for other individuals with redubs and series episodes and other good stuff. Yeah, but new videos coming soon. 7 months ago. No new videos came soon, and then the last 2 videos were from 1 month ago and 12 days ago. The casting call, which by the way, that is still open. So if you want to audition yet, now is your chance. And there's also the Farquhar Station set. That's it. So yeah, very uneventful year for my channel. And honestly, 2020, despite being a worse year in my opinion, for like the world especially, when COVID first happened and broke out and everything was all locked down. I mean, obviously COVID didn't disappear. It's still very much a big problem in the world. But when it first started, that was obviously a horrible time for the world, and 2020 was mostly a garbage year because of that as well. But yeah, 2020 was a very good year for my channel, but not for the rest of the world or anything. I mean, I was doing okay in 2020 with my channel, and now I'm basically an inactive user. And just keep in mind that this stream is mostly going to be talking about my experiences in the year, not necessarily everything that went on in the world in different parts of the year, because I'd rather not get into certain things and talk about that, because that's not what this channel is for. And I don't feel like doing that. So, yeah, this is mostly my perspective. Just throwing that out there in case you think I'm getting something wrong or being inconsiderate to others. Because believe me, I do care very much about everything else. I just can't discuss that all now because I mostly want to talk about my experience here. Yeah, bye Seth. Happy New Year if I don't talk to you again until then. Yep. So anyway, yeah, 2020 was a good year for my channel. 2021 was an abysmal year for my channel. And it's at the point where I'm not even considered an active member anymore. That's kind of sad. So, anyway, moving on. You might be asking yourself now, in case you don't know everything that went down in the earlier parts of the year, you might be wondering, well, Chase, why didn't you make videos? What was the big deal? Well, I'll tell you what the big deal was. Even before the middle part of the year, something very bad happened. Something very tragic, very, very depressing, very upsetting. I can think of all kinds of different words to describe it, but something terrible and tragic happened in April of this year. I'm sure that some of you might know exactly what I'm talking about, and it really took a lot out of me, and I will be getting to that point shortly, but first I want to go back to the earlier parts of this year before that happened. So basically, I was determined, in January, I was determined to get my channel on track, no pun intended. I was considering like getting new materials, new ballast, new sky backdrop, new foliage, new buildings, new extra accessories like telephone poles and different trees and better looking trees, honestly. And as you can see, I did go through with that eventually. It took a while, but I eventually did go through with it, because you can see it all right here. New, more realistic ballast, new sky backdrop, new bushes and other foliage, new trees, new telephone poles, and even a few different models for characters. Like Annie and Clarabelle are old style now, after almost 2 years of using the new style Annie and Clarabelle, which was nice to see because it fit in better with the whole aesthetic of my videos. And some proper station buildings instead of those wooden ones that I used to use, which there's nothing wrong with those, and I still use them as background houses. But for other stations, I want to get actual station buildings if they exist in the actual merchandise lines, like Farquhar here. So anyway, in January, I was very determined, ready to get my channel straight, get it even better than it was before, and make 2021 the best year of my career in the Thomas fandom, essentially. Then February came. January came and went. Nothing happened. Nothing crazy happened. I mean, I built a few sets, I think. And, yeah, I built a few sets during that time period. And then that was basically it. I didn't really record much. I don't remember if I even recorded anything. Like, I didn't post it, but I recorded some simple test footage with my new sky background. And yeah, January came and went. Nothing crazy happened. February came and went. Still nothing crazy happened. Nothing big like I was thinking. No new remakes came out, and to this day, no new remakes have come out since Trust Thomas, which came out in December of last year. And I'm also going to bring that up later. Remakes. March came and went. Not much happened there either. I got a few new items during the small time period, but nothing insane really happened involving my channel. Nothing too extravagant happened. Then April came, and the beginning of the month was okay. I mean, I was doing okay. I was thinking of actually doing some things. At this point, I got my new ballast. My new ballast and telephone poles came in the mail, and I got some new items, like a new wooden railway Duke. I think it was around this time when I purchased it. After using the new style one without eyebrows for a long time. And some other things happened too. And then earlier in this year, January, I found out that a good friend of mine, Crazy Caboose Creations, but you might know him as Peter or CCC or whatever you knew him by, I find out that in April he is scheduled to have a surgery for his heart. I'm not going to go too in-depth about why he needed the surgery, because that's more personal information, and I don't want to be disrespectful or anything. But yeah, I learned in January or something like that, or along those lines, somewhere around that time period, that he was going to have to go into surgery because it was like an annual thing that he had every so often, like every certain amount of years. And the time was coming for him to have another one. And I told him, oh, okay, good luck. I hope everything goes well. I hope you'll be okay. Stuff like that. Then April finally came. Like the Saturday, I think, before he was... Like the week before he was scheduled to go in like the earlier parts of April, we went to a train show together, because he wanted to do another fun thing with me one last time before he went into surgery, and might not have been able to do things like that for a while until he got well rested and recovered basically from everything, because obviously something like that would wear a person out, and he wanted to like do something fun together before he had to go in. So we did. We went to a train show. It wasn't like a big extravagant train show. It was a pretty small one, but it was still nice, and we got some things there. And turned out that after we were already done there, turned out that a controller that I got, a power pack that I got, was missing a piece, or was missing something that actually helped it run properly. And without that piece, it wouldn't hook up to the... And if it was hooked up to the track, it wouldn't make that locomotive move. Like, it wouldn't connect, right? And so he said that he actually had a spare piece like that I could have. And the Monday after that, which was only like 3 days or so before he went in for his surgery on the 15th. So this was on the 12th. Yeah, he came over on Monday and gave me the piece, and it worked like a charm, sure enough. Tested it out, and it worked wonders. Because I need it for my HO model trains, because I do have a few of those. And, yeah, it worked like a charm. And we also stayed and talked for a little bit. He showed me a preview of a video he was working on. It was an adaptation of one of the stories in the Railway Series book, Mountain Engines. It was an adaptation of Bad Lookout, I think. And it wasn't finished at this point, and yeah, it wasn't finished at this point, but he still showed it to me. And then that was it. We said our goodbyes, and then the day after that, he asked if I could call, and this is one of my biggest regrets ever. Unfortunately, I was busy, like, very busy with other things going on at that point, so I was unable to call him, like, to FaceTime him, because we did that a lot back in the... We did that back, like, last year, especially during lockdown because of COVID. We talked to each other over the phone a lot, not on FaceTime, and that's how we kind of talked to each other, because we didn't really get to see each other a whole lot during that time. Plus, his parents wanted to keep him safe because of his heart surgery coming up, and they didn't want him, like, getting COVID or getting really sick or anything like that. But we still got to see each other every now and then, especially later on in the year, like a while after COVID first hit and caused everything it did. So yeah, unfortunately I was busy around the time and said, sorry, I can't now. And I never got to talk to him again. I told him good luck the day he went into his surgery. He texted me when he was about to go in, and then he wouldn't be on his phone for a while. Little did I know that that would be the last time I would ever talk to him in any way, shape, or form. So, like, the day of, or the day of, like, the morning when he goes in, I go into school, and, like, I'm just hoping that he'll be okay. And then later that day, I get a message from my mom saying that she heard that things weren't going well. And my heart dropped about 1,000 feet. I was terrified at this point. Didn't get much sleep during this time period, and this was on Thursday, by the way. I went to school Friday, still feeling incredibly nervous and incredibly upset. But I managed to pull through the day. You know, everything worked out for me in that regard. Got home, and I still am hearing that things are not looking good, and, like, things are looking critical and all that. I don't want to talk too much about all the details, because I don't want to disrespect anybody here or disregard privacy. Like, I'm not going to explain how everything happened, like, and who everyone was. But, yeah, I find out when I get home from my mom that things are still... Because she had been keeping up with his mom at that point. And, yeah, things weren't looking good. Saturday the 17th, I was just terrified and I was really sad, too, because I was wondering, no, please don't tell me this could be the end. I want to see him again. I want to talk to him again. I want to interact with him again. I want to be able to hear his voice again, to text him again, to do basically anything just to see him again or talk to him again. And I made it through that day too, luckily. Next morning, I do my normal morning routines. This was on Sunday. I do everything I normally do on a Sunday and all that. live my life normally and try and just be as positive as I possibly can, which at this point was very, very hard to do. And then, like, after that, I was at a family thing. I was with a few family members. I don't remember what it was for, but I'm guessing it was like a late thing for Easter because we weren't able to do it like around Easter. It was something to do with Easter because Easter was like a couple of weeks ago at that point, I think. And I'm there. It's about like 3 in the afternoon when, and my mom has been messaging with his mom recently around this time, and around 3:43-ish, you get a message. Peter has now died. My heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. I left like immediately after that because I couldn't contain myself. I went into the car and I started bawling. Like I'm not even afraid to admit it. I was crying my eyes out for a solid, like, I don't even know how long. Like the whole rest of that day was awful. I was I was crushed pretty much. I never had anything like this happen to me before. I was just so distraught. It's really hard to put into words just how upset I was. Like, this like completely changed my life, I'd say. Not just that day or that time period or my friendships with people. No, it changed my life. Uh, um, so yeah, after dealing with that, I went home. And, I was, lots of emotions and lots of feelings were rushing through my head at this point. And I didn't know what to do really. I felt like I couldn't do anything because it was already too late. And yeah, it's just hard to put into words how I was feeling that day. I got home, went immediately in my house and just went up to my room and just sat there and cried for a good like 2-3 hours maybe. And then later that day, or later on that night actually, I talked with my mom a little bit, and that kind of helped me a little more, but I was still absolutely upset. And this is where we get to another part of the story that honestly helped me through this horrible time. So and once again, I'm gonna try and not give away too much personal information because I don't know like, I just don't want to give away too much just to play it safe in case something shouldn't be let out, but I'm gonna like do the best I can to explain the story regardless. So I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the user, the gaming flutist. She's someone who watches my videos and she comments on my videos. She's been in the live chat of my streams before. You might know who she is. But she's usually seen being active on my channel as well as Peter's channel too, Crazy Caboose Creations, because the three of us were like really good friends in real life, not just over the internet, but in real life. Like, we were all really good friends. The three of us were really good friends. We were really close, and losing Peter like that was just a hard blow for both of us. And that's just putting it in simple terms. So later that night, I was allowed to actually talk to her, and we kind of just talked for most of the night. And we were both devastated, of course, because we were like we were like best friends, all of us, and it made me feel a little bit better. It made us both feel a little bit better talking to each other about that. And the downside is, because of that, we barely got any sleep that night. Not just because of talking all night, but because of like just being so sad, not knowing what to think, what to do. I was up that night, and it was a Sunday night, so it was a school night, because it was a Sunday, and the next day was a Monday, which meant school. But unfortunately, I only fell asleep around like 2:30, 3 a.m. So I only got like 2.5, closer to 3 hours of sleep that night. And I was like a complete wreck in the morning. I mean, yeah, I was tired. I tried my best to like make it through the day, and luckily I did without like passing out or anything like that, miraculously. And yeah, and then this was Monday, April 19th. And as some of you might know, if you're on Twitter especially, that was the day that I announced Peter's passing to the Thomas fandom. Because I knew that as his best friend and like one of the only people in the fandom who knew him personally, who like knew him outside of the fandom, knew him outside of Thomas, knew him as a really good friend, a really close friend, that would have to be my job to announce it to the fandom. And let me tell you, that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my entire life. Yeah, for hours I was worried about how I was going to do it, how I was going to break the news. And yeah, it just really messed with me, to put it in simpler terms. But eventually I figured out what I wanted to say and how I wanted to word everything, and around 8:30, 9 o'clock, sometime between there, the tweet went out. Immediately I got a bunch of responses saying that they were sorry for the loss, and other people just mourning his death, because I wasn't the only friend that Peter had in this fandom. He was friends with many people. And that really shows what kind of person he was. He was a really kind, really caring person, and one that I'm glad was a part of my life. And putting that message out there was one of the hardest things I had to do in my life. One of the greatest challenges I ever had to face so far in my existence. Immediately I was met with DMs and tweets and other things telling me, or people telling me that they were sorry and that they were here for me, and that lifted my spirits like a slight bit, but I was still absolutely devastated. And like I said, that's really an understatement compared to how I really felt. Yes, Peter was a person in my life like no other. I've had many, I've interacted with and encountered many people in my existence on this earth, but none of them will ever compare to or replace Peter. Peter's one of those people that is just irreplaceable, and you can't really replace him with anybody else. He was my true best friend, and I could never dream of replacing him with anybody else. And I especially felt horrible for his parents, who I had spoken to a little bit at this point, over text mostly, because I didn't see them in person for a while after that. But I was in contact with his family, specifically his mother, because our parents were good friends too, and we still do interact with his family members, because like I said, I'm not gonna like give away personal information like their names or anything, but they always felt like a second family to me. Like whenever I stayed over at their house for things over the years, like I felt like they were like a second family to me. No one should ever no, and the main reason I was sad about his family, especially his parents, is because no parent deserves to lose a child like at all in such a horrible way. Especially at the young age of 16. He was 16. That is the official age, because I've seen people say he was 15, and that wasn't true. That just wasn't true. Last month on the 25th would have been his 17th birthday, and you better believe that that day was really difficult for me. 16 is very young for someone to die like that. The following Tuesday, I miraculously made it to school without like falling asleep, because the whole week after everything happened, I was getting like 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night, and it was brutal. I've For a long time now, I've talked about how dark of a time period April through like June was for me. And now that I'm explaining the full story in raw detail, I'm sure you all know why now. Because this is the first time, I think, that I've ever fully told the story of how this happened. And I will be keeping this stream public. So everyone can know the story of Peter and be able to respect him for what he did for this community and my life. He was truly like no other, a person like no other. So the Tuesday after I made the announcement, I was in school. It was like the beginning of the day, and I got called down. I got called down to the office, and I didn't know why. But a family member of his his aunt actually, was there with my mom, and we talked for a while. Made me feel a little bit better knowing that, because I'd known his aunt for years, and she was another person who I really trusted and thought of as like another family member, or someone that I trusted even though they were from a different family. Because Peter and his parents and all of them, they felt like a second family to me. Like, it's hard to describe in full words how much that he meant to me. So that made me feel a little bit better. But then the day took a turn for the worse when I came home later that day and found out that some horrible, disgusting people were commenting on Peter's channel and leaving some very hurtful things. Some of which I am not going to repeat because this is a family-friendly channel and I don't feel like reliving that experience. They were saying things like he deserved it for liking Thomas, and haha, he's burning in hell, he will not be missed, all that garbage. Stuff like that is why I am very fortunate that I made it through this year intact, if you know what I mean. It's a good thing that I got home before everyone else that day, because I flipped my lid. I almost had a full-on mental breakdown. Like, it was horrible. Like, I had basically like a full-on mental breakdown, and I'm like, I just can't describe it. It just messed with my head and messed with everything, and luckily I'm a moderator on his channel, and the Gaming Flutist, remember the Gaming Flutist, I mentioned her earlier, who was also a really good friend of Peter's. Like, the three of us were really good friends, really close with each other. She was also a moderator. So we had to go through all these comments and delete them and block these people from the channel, because we made it our goal to keep his channel as beautiful as it was before. And most of the accounts were like obvious troll accounts, but it still made me really upset that people would that these slime balls would even dare to say such horrible things, especially that soon after his passing. And the reason I keep mentioning, and to this day we still upkeep the channel, and a lot of those people have gone away. There still were a few of them hanging around a few months ago, but took care of all those. But honestly, it made me furious, upset, and all kinds of other emotions. Like I said, it was it was just horrible. I can't put it into any more words than that. And people were making like fake accounts of him saying, "Guess what, guys? I'm still alive. I'm still here. Don't worry." Disgusting. I don't get how you can live with yourself, even if it's a funny joke, I'm a troll, that's the whole point of my existence. Even if that's what you were doing, I don't understand how you can live with yourself after saying stuff like that. Especially about someone who not only passed away, but passed away at a young age. He was still very young. He was 16. He was basically still a child, if you think about it. He had a whole future ahead of him. He had a whole future to live out. He had a whole life ahead of him, and it was taken away from him. And to see stuff like that just destroyed me. And the whole reason I keep bringing up the gaming flutist is because I want to give a big, huge shout out, thank you to her, because the two of us really talked a lot more and got more in contact with each other, called almost every day, texted almost every day, and we still do nowadays about other things too. That's another thing I'm grateful for, because I'm just glad that I had somebody else to talk to and trust and everything like that on a regular basis ever since everything happened. And if she's watching right now, or if she's watching in the future when this stream is over, because I don't think she's here right now, but if she's watching or listening right now, thank you very much for what you've done. And thank you to all of my other friends and people who have looked out for me during that time period, because honestly, I don't know where I'd be now if I didn't have someone like that to talk to, or if I was all alone through all this. Honestly, sometimes I wonder if I'd even be here talking to you right now if that were the case and I didn't have anybody to trust in or to help me through or bring comfort, pretty much, because that's what we did for each other, and it worked effectively, I'd say. Over the next few months, we're still talking to each other, even though it was a long while since he passed away, and we still do interact and see each other very frequently now, and have become a lot closer ever since he passed away, because I don't want to ever lose another friend like that again, no matter if it's through death or through just not knowing the person anymore. I don't want a repeat of that, and I want to do everything in my power to keep it that way. Not to force people into stuff, but just to be able to be happy. Ever since that fateful day, it's been hard to be genuinely happy every single day of my life. There have only been a few good examples of where that's actually happened. And I know this is sad to talk about. I know this is hard to listen to. I know this is depressing, to put it simply. But I've never gotten the chance to talk about this in full detail, and I want to get it out there so everyone will know the full story and understand just what I meant. When I said that this time period was dark for me, because even a month or so after, it still was. But I still had my other friends in the fandom and a couple real life people like the gaming flutist. I'm not going to say their actual name, because I don't know if it's ever been said before, and I don't know if she'd have a problem with it. So I'm just gonna keep it at that for now. And yeah, anyway, the rest of April was hard to get through. The funeral was the Friday after that whole week went down, and that was a hard day to get through. I went to his viewing and I saw him that, like, the day before, because they had a viewing, like, the night before the actual funeral on Friday. Like, on the Thursday before that, there was a viewing. I went there with the gaming flutist, and it was hard. It's hard to describe. It was just sad. Very, very sad. Never did I ever think I'd have to see my best friend laying lifeless in front of me at that age. Such a young age that he didn't deserve to die at. And the day of the viewing, I learned something that made me just burst out crying. I was told by his mom that when he went in for his surgery, he kept a wooden railway item with him and held on to it in his hand. And do you know what the item was? A wooden railway model of Peter Sam, because I was his best friend. And that's exactly what he said too, according to his mom. That made me lose it. So we were basically together until the very end. So after everything happened, April came and went. The rest of April came and went. May happened, and I was barely active on any kind of Thomas social media. And the same goes for most of the rest of the year. But this early part of 2021, May and June, stuff like that, is a very important time, because for those of you who always wanted an explanation as to why I was gone for so long, is because at that point I was ready to give it up. I was ready to throw in the towel. I was ready to leave Thomas behind because I couldn't do anything with it without thinking of him. I was seriously considering packing up my Thomas stuff, selling it, getting some money off of it, and just abandoning it altogether. All this you see in front of you would have been no more. All of it gone. I was going to begin selling off all of the Thomas items I owned and moving on with life. As hard as that would be. Luckily, though, I didn't do that. I changed my mind. Because I realized that Peter would probably want me to continue on and not give it up. Because that was something we were so passionate about. And I was even mentioned during the funeral, like during the service, that Thomas and Friends was the glue that held our friendship together. And that really meant a lot to me. But yeah, I still can't believe that I almost did that. Like, I was going to an extreme right there. I just wanted to get rid of my Thomas stuff, move on, and never touch it again. But like I said, Peter probably wouldn't have wanted me to give up Thomas. Because it's what brought us together in the first place. So I decided to stick with it. Problem is, I had like zero motivation to film. So while I stayed in the Thomas, I really didn't film much of anything, honestly, or build any new sets for most of the year. And with all of that being said and done, it's the main reason why I want 2022 to be a much more productive year. I want to get videos done. I want to make content for you guys. I want to actually make my channel worth watching and make it worth sticking around for my videos, even if I'm not as motivated anymore, because the main reason why my motivation is gone is because of Peter's passing. But I'm starting to get a little bit more of it back, and that is why I want to start being more productive on this channel and actually take care of business, so to speak, because I don't want this year to be another huge letdown. But at least you all know why 2021 was such a terrible year for my channel and for my life in general. And it didn't help that a few months later, in July, I lost my grandmother. So that also took a big hit to me. But as horrible as... I'm not trying to sound horrible when I say this, but honestly, I felt way worse after Peter's death than I did for my grandmother. And I'm not saying that I don't care about her as much, because I cared about her as much as, like, anybody. But the thing is, she was way older, and she lived, like, a long life, a long and eventful life. She was in her 80s when she died. Peter was only 16. He had a whole life ahead of him. So that's why his passing stung a little bit more. And I'm not saying that I expected my grandma to die, but it didn't, like, hit me as hard as it could have. But yeah, the fact that two very close people died in the same year and I had no motivation to do, like, anything productive is really the big explanation as to why this year was the way it was for my channel and for my life in general. And for those of you who are still here and listening to me talk about this, I thank you so much for actually caring and staying. So after that, everything kind of continued on decently normal. Nothing too crazy happened any time after that. I mean, I did get to do some fun things, like I got to go on a trip to Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania with my friend, who actually was the gaming flutist that I mentioned earlier. Because the truth is, I don't really have a whole lot of real life friends, and Peter was like one of the only ones. And a lot of the other ones are just people I know here. But yeah, I went on a trip to Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania on a train ride, and it was really fun. So that was a good thing that actually happened this year. One of the few. And another good thing that happened, what is another good thing that happened this year? I don't know how many new friends I actually made because I didn't really interact with the fandom that much. And I got a couple of new items that are nice, I guess. Honestly, I'm really struggling to find any more good things about this year other than that trip. And the two of us also went to a Christmas light display place where it's like a little area where, like, there's all kinds of different light displays and decorations. That was a few weeks ago. I'm not gonna say where it is, because if I say the name, someone might look it up and figure out where I'm from. So I'm not going to do that. But that was another fun thing, and yeah, other than that, I really don't know. So, in conclusion, I want to leave you all with this message before we move on to the next topic. This took up a good chunk of the stream, and I'm gonna end it soon, actually, because I don't want to, like, do the stream into midnight, because I actually want to be with my family members that are here at the house when it hits New Year's, so because in my time zone it's like 11 something right now, and I don't want to miss the new year. But before I give that message, actually, I'd just like to show you something here. So, as part of a birthday present, which was a wooden railway rickety, along with some other goodies, because Peter liked to give out some interesting things in his presents. Like, he was a funny guy, too, I will say that. Like, he gave me, like this one time with my rickety, the troublesome truck, he gave me, like, a bag of goldfish crackers, because we both loved those things. I don't know if you guys know what those are, but we both loved those things. So he gave me a little bag of those, a small little baggie. He gave me these weird, like, gel things that come in, like, these containers. Things, I don't know what they come with, but they're like those little packets that come inside of different things. And another thing he gave me, which I will hold on to forever and ever as long as I live on this planet, is this. I know it's not extravagant, or it might not look extravagant, but this means a whole lot more to me now. A Crazy Caboose Creations track piece. While it is on a generic piece of track, but it still means a lot to me. And before he even gave me this, I made this. A Peter Sam Studios track. It actually included a little Peter Sam sticker because it actually existed, funny enough. So now, even when he's not here, we can both be friends together forever. So that's something that I will cherish for as long as I still live on this planet. That wasn't even the intention when we made these. It was just an extra thing he included with a birthday present, but now it holds so much more meaning, especially like that. So in honor of that, I am going to move Thomas and his coaches out of the way for just a little bit. And I'm going to put these up against the station instead. Hopefully those are visible to some extent. So now I will leave those there for a little bit. Hopefully they're visible on camera. I'm going to move these guys a little more because they still shouldn't be visible. So now that I told you about that, I will leave you all with a message. As soon as I find something else. Alright. So now, before I end this portion of the stream, I want to leave you all with this. Peter was a very kind, inspiring human being. And I am very glad and I'm very lucky that I got to know him in the few years that I did. He was truly one like no other. He's irreplaceable, and I will deeply miss him for the rest of my life. So I leave you all with this. Please strive to be just as respectful and kind and positive as Peter was, and make this community and help to make this community a better place for everybody. I know that in the world of today, there's a lot of negativity, a lot of fighting, a lot of conflict, not just in the fandom, but in the world in general. So I ask you all to be kind to one another, be positive to one another, and treat everyone with respect as you would want to be treated. And now, in honor of Peter, we will now have 17 minutes of silence in honor of what would have been the year of Peter's 17th birthday. Okay, everyone, I'm pretty sure it's been 17 minutes now. Thank you for sitting through that or sticking through that whole time. I know it was a lot. But, yeah, it's going to be New Year, and it's going to be the new year in a few minutes. So before I go, I just want to let you know some other things. So, as for my time in the fandom and everything else that I plan on doing, let's just say I'm not going to be as active anymore. Other than my series, I'm not really going to be doing as much anymore on my channel. My series is going to be the main thing that you will see. I still am going to be making content, but it's mostly just going to be focused on Tales of the Sodor engines. As for remakes, they are pretty much done for good. I am semi-retired from remakes now. I never formally announced that, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of you already might have known that that was the case. But yeah, remakes are pretty much done for. I still plan on doing that season 1 remake project at some point, but for now, remakes are basically done for other than that project, which at this point I don't know when or if it'll be out. But in 2022, I'm going to start filming my first season of Tales of the Sodor Engines, so you can look forward to that. But other than that, I'm really done being active in other things. I'm still going to check in every now and then, but I'm not going to be as active as I once was, which I mean, I've kind of already done that. But yeah, hopefully you all understand. I will still be doing live streams. I don't know if they will be as frequent, but I will still be doing them. So you have those to look forward to as well in between episodes. And unlike last time when I attempted to do my series, I'm going to film all the episodes so that I have them all together so that I can actually release with a proper release schedule. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to do that if I can. Hopefully it works out because it's a lot easier than releasing episodes within like 2 months of each other like I did before. And that obviously wasn't a good system. So that's like the main topic for the future of my channel. So, I think that about wraps everything up that I wanted to talk about. And if there's anything else I want to give you updates on, I will make an update video or a community post because you can always find me there. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram. On Twitter at Peter Sam Studios 1 or at Peter Sam Studio 1, or on Instagram at Peter Sam Studios, all one word. And you can yeah, you can message me there, ask questions if you need to about certain things. But with that being said, I think that about wraps up this stream. I know a big portion of it was spent talking about Peter, and it might have been a little bit sad, but that's really what most of my year consisted of. Other than that, not a lot happened that was worth noting. I mean, a lot of stuff happened in my personal life, but I'm not going to share that because I don't want to share too many personal details, of course. But, yeah, I'm not going to do the stream until New Year's because I at least want to be with my family when New Year's hits, which is in a few minutes, so I better get moving. So, yeah, I just want to thank each and every one of you for sticking through this live stream for the almost 2 hours that it was going. But yeah, thank you for watching. Happy New Year, everybody, and I will see you in 2022.